We run the smartest software we ever built through the dumbest thing on the screen, a box you type into. We've been typing into a box like this for decades. It's the simplest interface we ever made. And honestly, that's why it won. A chat barely limits you, so it never lies to you about what's possible. But that same emptiness is the ceiling. The thing that sets the model free is the thing keeping all of us stuck. There is a lot we could argue about with AI. The energy it burns, the copyright mess, all of it. I want to leave all that aside and talk about one thing, the interface. It's the only way to actually see this part clearly without everything else getting in the way. Miro flew me out to their Canvas 26 conference and sponsored this video. And that's where I saw the thing that made me want to make it. So here's where we are. The chat was supposed to be temporary, something to let us feel the technology and play with the demos. But years in, look at what we actually built. We didn't replace the chat. We just grew things around it. More buttons, more items spilling up in the little menu next to your list of chats. Chat stays in the center and everything else just orbits it. And every LLM interface that pulls away from the chat quietly dies. The only thing that ever survived outside the chat is the command line. And look at it. You type in a line, it answers, that's the same interface. We never actually left. So why does everything keep collapsing back into a chat? It's simple. The job of an interface is to guide you through a function, but AI isn't a function. It doesn't work like one. It works like a conversation mode. So every time someone builds a proper interface for it, it gets worse, not better, and you just go back to the chat to get your work done. But none of that changed one simple fact. Being the least bad option doesn't make chat good. Chat is still a bad interface. And there is a deeper reason it traps us. A chat is a single line. And the hard thing we actually want AI for were never a line. But that's a whole video on its own. Which brings me back to what I saw. For years I've been a big believer in freeform interfaces, open canvases for brainstorming, for shaping ideas. I think they're the best way we have for people to think together. And Miro is a company that started that whole trend. Back when I thought this was the first canvas I made my student learn. Not Sketch, not Figma, and definitely not Photoshop. First you learn to think and talk on a canvas. Then you move to everything else. And what I saw at the conference lines up exactly with that. Miro is building an AI interface on the canvas. Two things. First, a chat is one line, top to bottom, one tone at a time. A canvas is a space. You spread the work out in two dimensions, side by side, where you can see all of it at once. Second, everyone looking at the same thing. Me, teammates and the AI agents. We share one board, one picture we can all see. And here's the part that actually got me. Right now, the way I worked, that AI keeps my whole structure in a kind of wiki for me. And honestly, it's great. But that structure lives in the background, of where I can see it in the moment. On a canvas, the AI doesn't hide it in the back. We build the structure together, out in the open. One shared thing we both understand instead of boxing the model into a single line. I'm not going to tell you this solves everything, but it looked promising enough and it impressed me enough that I've decided to live with it for a while. AI has been my manager, my library, my little butler for a long time now. Without it, everything just takes me longer. But the part where it helps me actually think, none of today's interfaces feel right for that. That's why this doesn't feel like novelty for its own sake. It feels like real direction for solving real problems. And in design, it's always like this. You have to live with something to give it real time before you know if it's any good. And I've seen interfaces like this before. I've even tried building one myself for an AI browser agent. But this is the first time I've seen someone do the full serious version of it. Thanks to Miro for having me, I really was impressed. And for the record, I've thought highly of this workspace and the team behind it for a long time. So I'm curious where this goes, which is why I'm moving my whole workflow onto a canvas and testing it for real. And I could genuinely use your help on this. Most of you are designers or running your own thing, already believing in Miro or something similar. If you try Sidekick and Flow in your real work and tell me how it goes right here in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. It fits straight into what I'm making next, which full breakdown in a couple of weeks. So subscribe.